Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for iPad today is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
Coming up, a theme-free app extravaganza for all.
Plus, white versus black, get your apps read, and hopping stops.
All of that and travel the world barefoot. And it's not really gross at all on iPad today.
iPad Today is brought to you by Slingbox, which can turn your iPad into a television. With the new iPad app from Slingbox, you can watch your home TV on your iPad anywhere you go. Check it out at slingbox.com/twit. So, iPad Today time, ladies and gentlemen.
It is episode 101, which means it's our very first triple-digit palindrome episode. One of us is very excited about
backwards
that.
and forwards.
That's
it's
right.
The same.
Our last palindrome episode was episode 99.
Well, there you go. So there's only every other episode.
It'll be a while now. We got to wait till 111.
111.
Yeah.
She's good at math.
Well, it's...
Were you a mathlete?
I was a math major briefly.
Were you really?
Yeah.
What kind of math? Like, I mean...
I mean, what do you mean? What kind of math?
American math?
Math and English.
Yeah.
Well, it was when you...
You mean in college?
Yeah. Well,
really?
here's the reason. I was very good at math in high school, and so many people aren't.
Right.
And particularly women,
right.
Which, at the time, this was
you wanted to represent.
Yeah, I mean, I was in high school in the early 90s, and I remember all of my, especially girlfriends, a lot of it was because I think they didn't believe that they could be good at it, so that was an issue.
Absolutely.
But they'd all, I'd be everybody's tutor, and I'd do people's homework, and I was like, this is fun.
Right.
It just makes sense to me, so I thought, I have a special gift.
Sure.
So when I got to high school, I'm like, I'm going to be a math major, because who does that?
In college, yeah.
In college. And
then you realized.
After the first year, I was like, differential equations, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
It's a different thing, yeah.
And I think my parents were sort of like, well, what are you going to do for your career, though? That's what college is all about.
Teach math.
And that was sort of where I realized, I could be a professor or some sort of mathematician or work in a lab, or I wasn't sure.
Same thing.
And so I switched to broadcasting, which is a little bit more my personality.
Our career paths are really very similar. You should have asked me, because I was 20 years ahead of you. But I was a Chinese major, and I thought, what am I going to do with this? Foreign relations, teach Chinese. There's not a lot. So I got into broadcasting, because I needed a job.
Yeah.
And look how well it's panned out for us.
I was always very interested in broadcasting. Obviously, what we do now is not television, but at the time, it was just television or movies. Those were my choices. And I thought, I don't want to be an actress. I want to be myself. So, going into television and producing seemed like the right thing to do.
Not many little girls grow up and say, I want to be a host when I grow up.
Well, they probably do now, because there are a lot of us.
More hosts.
Everybody's a host now.
Yeah.
There's like a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube. There's
that's what. Maybe they'll say, I want to be a
hosts.
YouTube star.
Maybe.
They wouldn't want to say I'm a host.
The thing, though, there's still a difference between wanting to be a star and wanting to be a host in the sense that we are hosts.
Obscure, little known.
Well, no.
Working.
This is fame that you achieve because. If you do your job right, people respect you and say, yeah, this is awesome. We like coming to watch iPad Today every week, for example. It's not, I got into a magazine stumbling out of a club. That would be like my worst embarrassment ever. I would never do that.
No one wants to be that.
If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that for free. But I don't want to be in the glossy.
You're not a Kim Kardashian-style host.
No.
You don't want people to say, Sarah Lane, pregnant at last, on the front of People magazine.
And then you read the article and you realize she's not even pregnant. She just said she would like to have a baby one day.
Right.
What a farce.
Right. So Vanna White is a host. You're talent.
Vanna White's very talented.
Yeah.
Have you seen her lately?
No.
I mean, she's been doing this for, 95
What's
years?
What's the talent? She could turn a letter.
Well, she looks very nice. She's got great pivoting ability.
She's good at pivoting.
Wonderful,
So speaking of pivoting,
arm muscles.
what is this show about?
Oh, it's about nothing. No, it's what is this particular episode about? You're asking?
I know it's about the iPad. It says so. iPad today.
Yes.
So this is an iPad show, but what is this particular episode going to be?
Well,
about?
It's a little bit of everything. It is a stir fry of apps, information, and questions from our audience.
You just told me you suck at stir fry.
Well, take that as you would like
All right,
to.
I don't know anything about the middle part, but the end is going to be great.
The end is going to be great because that's when our app caps happen.
I got the app cap that's going to knock you down. You're going to just flip your lid.
I don't have far to fall, so good. I'm glad.
But in between, I don't know. Because you said you don't have...
That makes it like every other show that we do.
Yes, you said to me, don't do anything on it, so I didn't.
It's gotten to the point where Leo and I would, we used to talk about the show a couple days in advance, and then it became I'll email you, and then he stopped replying to me. And that now it's just like, hey, Leo, you have your app cap, right? And we're sitting here, and he's like, oh. So that's, but, again, I'm bossy, so it works out really well. Hey, so we ended the show last week with a little homework for everybody.
Oh, I did it. What was it?
I bet you did.
What was it?
You remember the app that you're supposed to download and play with. We had gotten a recommendation from somebody saying, this is a really good app cap, so I thought, well, let's all download it and see how it goes. Sticky Notes for iPad. Something that many of you already have installed, but if you don't, it is an extremely easy app to download, totally free, by the way.
That's interesting because I don't know even how he got away with calling it that, because that's what Apple calls their sticky notes on the Mac OS.
Really?
Yeah, sticky notes.
Sticky notes.
Yeah.
It's not just because notes is different.
Notes. Yeah, it's sticky notes. So I guess Apple didn't do this, right? It's some guy named Tukes.
Yeah, it's an independent company, and the idea behind it is, it's like a sticky note, really. What's neat about it, though, is that you've got a page of sticky notes. So I've got one here, and if I want to...
You've never called me in your life.
What? I have. If I want to make the font size bigger, for example, or if it's
just
less
like
of an important type thing, you can do that. You can obviously change the color. You can change, Oh, there we go. You can change the color of your sticky note if you've got a variety of sticky notes. Now, this is the sort of thing where I think many of you would look at this and say, with all of the organizational apps out there,
really need this.
Why would I want to use this? And I think it's because you're the kind of person who actually likes stuff like sticky notes all over your monitor. People like that do exist.
But
I'm actually one of them because I need physical stuff.
Do that because and this is the problem I had with the concept. You can't. It's all in the app. You can't put a note on another app.
Right. It's not going to cover up your home screen, for example.
It's just within the sticky. So to see the sticky notes, you have to go into the sticky note app.
But I think it's a little bit of a psychological thing where if it looks a little bit like that mishmash calendar that you've got up on your office wall where you're putting up sticky notes, then you might be more inclined to use this as a place to never forget anything. And it's not so much an organizational tool. It's not like it's connecting to your calendar or you're adding times of day and everything. You're just writing out stuff.
You can't do anything with it.
Do this, whatever. Well, you can dictate to it, which is kind of neat.
Oh, that's cool.
So, you break both your hands, you're fine.
Right.
You just press the little microphone with your nose, and you can dictate to sticky notes to your heart's content.
How do I add a new sticky note?
Double click. Double click on the screen.
There you go.
There you go. We actually had a few of you wrote in with your
Did we get reviews?
We did. We got reviews. Jennifer, who I actually met in Idaho a couple months ago.
Wow.
She had come to watch my little talk, and she was really nice. She dutifully wrote us some pros and cons, and she pretty much said, what's good about this, right, is it's simple. You tap the screen, you type or dictate your note, and you're done. It works like real sticky notes, except that the notes don't get lost. They don't lose their stick. They don't get all ratty if it's that kind of sticky note that you don't want to throw away because you got to remember this thing, but it's getting gross because you spilled coffee on it or something. And that's just how physical stuff works. But she says that there are some cons. If I use my iPad for something else, then, of course, those sticky notes aren't front and center, out of sight, out of mind. There's also no iPhone version, so there's no sticky note sync. That is annoying, especially since we have so many apps that we have to choose from that do sync. And that's important to me. On Reminders, which is an iOS app, I really rely on sync because I don't know what's going to be in my hand.
Can I make this bigger? Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, you can.
That's nice.
See?
It's very intuitive.
Well, I think that you're just being harsh because you don't like sticky notes or something. You also can use different fonts like Helvetica.
Yeah. Two, count them, 2 fonts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is the sort of thing where I think it's probably not app cap for me. I don't think I would recommend this to you guys as an app cap. However, that is a little Comic Sans looking. That bothers me.
Marker, but you know, Marker. By the way, Apple, I'm told by our chat room, does not call its app sticky notes, just stickies.
Stickies. Okay, so that's how they get around it. Yeah. This is free. If you like the look of it, maybe you do. Hey, to each their own.
It was a good exercise for somebody to program this. I mean, this is kind of cool.
It's kind of neat. Yeah. For a while, I was using stickies on OS X. That was the way that I would jot down
stuff. I use
stuff.
those still. I do use those. Yeah, and it's
so
very
if you do,
primitive.
then I don't see why this doesn't appeal to you because you're already using an electronic sticky note.
By the way, you can print, email, tweet, save to photos, or edit. So you know where this might be useful?
What?
Is if you saved it to photos, then you could post it on Instagram.
You know, actually...
Oh, you have to buy that for 99 cents if you want to save to photos.
Oh. That's interesting.
Let's see if I want to tweet it.
Brad actually had said that if you tweet from the sticky note, it attaches a couple of links that self-promotes the app.
Oh, let's see that.
And then the other link is the sticky note.
I will not be happy about that either.
He did not like this. No. Now, if it gives you the option to say, no, don't add that link to the App Store, then that's okay with me. But if it does it behind the scenes, then that would bother me as well. Then again, I can't see myself ever tweeting a sticky note, but maybe I'm not thinking creatively enough. Maybe it would come up.
Well, see, here's what it did. Links for Twit. It put 2 links in here. One to the Sticky Notes app and another to a Twit pic of my note.
Well, okay, no, click the first app.
That takes me to the iTunes Store for Sticky Notes.
That bothers me too. That's not
so
the
it's
point.
An ad for Sticky Notes.
You're not spreading the gospel about Sticky Notes. That's not your job. You were tweeting something.
And in fact, there's no clue as to what is in this tweet. It merely gives you those 2 links as the tweet.
It's the worst tweet
It's the worst tweet ever.
In the world.
It's the worst tweet.
That's the worst tweet in the world.
Yeah, and I just tweeted it. So thank you, Sticky Notes.
Actually, there was a worse tweet.
I got a new name for this program.
There was a worst tweet sometime back that many people might remember. That was the worst tweet.
The first time I ever used Instagram. So apparently I have a reputation when I first use an app.
You go profane. That's the way it goes. Yeah.
Stinky Notes.
Stinky Notes. Hey, so usually at the beginning of the show, and thank you everybody who participated. It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun to do a little homework. Yeah. We usually have a theme for our show, but every once in a while we find that a bunch of apps are new and cool and they just don't have anything to do with each other. So why not just talk about the new and cool apps rather than artificially try to put them into a box?
It's actually sometimes very hard to come up with a category that covers all the things we want to talk about.
Right.
So this is nice. Once in a while do a show where it's just a potpourri.
That's exactly what it is.
Show. Yeah.
Yes, it is. What's that kind of liquor that is wine but fruit? Also?
Sangria?
It's a sangria, no, it's not.
I always get a headache from sangria, so let's not make it
I'm not crazy about sangria either. It's just too sweet. I'm basically just drinking juice. There's no fun in that. Just give me the wine.
Give me the wine.
Give me the wine.
Give me the wine.
So
you probably don't like mulled wine either.
Actually,
spiced
I kind of do. I kind of do. Because that's just spiced. It's not mucked up with a bunch of fruit.
Okay. I don't know.
I
can't figure her
I actually really like fruit. I don't know where this is going. Hey, so Jack Dorsey, you heard of him?
Yes, he recommended this.
Yeah,
he's the founder, the guy who invented Twitter.
That's right, and Square as well.
And Square.
In fact, he's running both companies.
Which is very strange.
It is strange, but I guess they're geographically not too far away from each other, so he walks back and forth.
I think he spends his mornings
He's not single-handedly running both companies, but he's...
Pretty much.
He's
got like an engineer, I think.
He's a honcho.
Yeah.
Yeah. He recommended an app called Fancy. We have talked about Fancy in the past, not for a while though, and it's gotten a complete design overhaul since we talked about it. So I thought, okay, Jack Dorsey, you think you're so cool. He said something like, Fancy is amazing, congrats to the people behind it. He probably knows at least a couple of people who work there.
Pinteresty, maybe?
It's a little bit of I think it's a Pinterest / almost fab.com hybrid. Because it's links to be able to buy things that you like. Okay, if you like this ice cream sandwich iPhone case, which I do, go ahead and click on that.
See, I would be hungry all the time, though.
Oh, it looks so good, though.
Oh, it looks so good, and I couldn't have that.
And you just want it to be ice cream. You'd be like, I wish this wasn't my phone.
Yeah.
But the deal with this...
I would be biting that all the time. I would be.
This is not the purchase for you, then.
No.
You can't control yourself.
I do not fancy that.
So if you look in the bigger view, you can see that some folks have made some comments about it. What Fancy thinks are somewhat similar. Not really sure what those thumbnails lead to. But if you're interested in buying it, it says it's $18. And I can go ahead and click the Buy It Now link to go ahead and add this to my cart from within Fancy itself. So it's not even dumping me out into, the Amazon store or anything.
So how does it... so do you supply, or is it only others that are supplying the things that you might fancy?
I'm not supplying anything.
So it's not like Pinterest in the sense that you can say, I fancy that and add that.
Right.
They give you something.
Correct.
To fancy.
Correct. Now, you can, in my profile page, I can start to collect my own stuff. I can say, I really like these shoes, I really like these stormtroopers, like the Imperial Forces wallpaper, that's like the coolest thing ever. There's little shoes that look like kitties or dogs.
Oh, see, I think you fancy those.
And then I like these kind of tree books, and then, we've got a Leica camera. So it's like, I can now make have like a running, almost a Pinteresty area of the stuff that I like.
Right.
But it's not really the same where people are visiting my board. It's more that I'm just remembering that I might either like these sorts of things or even want to buy them.
I'm still trying to get where these things come from. Are people? Is it a catalog?
No, I think it's curated, like I said, fab.com or Cool Hunting is another example where it's curated content.
Fab is curated,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So people go out, they talk to vendors, they say, I think those shoes would sell really well. We'd like to feature them.
So I'm just looking. So there's a top hat ice bucket. That's all right. Home theater leather recliner.
Now, if you go upper left-hand corner, you see that area.
Yeah.
You can then search. You can.
This looks like Facebook.
It does kind of look like Facebook. If you click Browse, then you can search by type of thing. So then you can go to tech, you can go to men's,
Let's look
you
at
can
gadgets.
go to architecture.
Let's see what fancy gadgets they've got here.
What's neat about Fancy is like the ice cream sandwich iPhone case. I've never seen that before.
Never saw that before.
So a lot of the stuff is a little bit unique. You might not have seen it before. You'd be the only person on the block.
Minesweeper Scratcher. I like that.
Ooh, neat.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. $10. Buy now. I'm thinking that my guess would be Jack Dorsey has an investment in this. I would guess that's why.
Or his friends made it or something.
Or his friends made it, yeah.
I like it.
This is kind of interesting. We should get this for the show. Intra-stand mini iPad stand.
Isn't that neat?
I like that. $123, not that neat.
Yeah, some of the stuff
expensive.
on Fancy is ridiculously expensive, so it's a little bit of that window shopping aspect, which I like doing. I can look at stuff and not buy it all day long. Some people aren't into that because it's just annoying. You only want to shop if you're buying.
My concern is, where did this stuff come from? Are these ads? Are these paid ads? Where did they come from?
They're on the internet.
Is there but I know they're on the internet, but is there a guy? Why, for instance, is the Hitachi Seaside Park in Japan? Why is this here? Who put that there?
Well,
somebody.
Why didn't you ask me that when we talked about Fab's new
Well, I
look
kind of
and
understood
feel
that Fab
recently.
was an editorial product. I don't understand what this is. Did Rolex buy this ad?
It's not.
Where does this image come from? Who are these people?
It's not really. It's fancy.
AuthenticWatches.com. So I bet you AuthenticWatches.com. Let's see it. Look at that. Look at that. That is a nice motorcycle. Let's just see.
How much is it?
It's from this website. So, okay, $270. It's very affordable.
Well, it's very small then.
It must be a model.
That's made of chocolate, isn't it?
Never mind. It's made of... Look, let's go to Egypt. I've been there. Abu Simbel.
Neat.
So I don't understand.
Leo, you're asking really weird questions as if this is the first place that's ever curated a bunch of stuff for sale.
I'm thinking Tour Egypt paid for that. I don't know.
Well,
is there an editorial person?
Well, I assume that, that they're featuring companies where they have an agreement where it says, for every Egyptian tour that we sell, you get a cut.
I like Pinterest because it's similar, but I'm following people, and then I kind of know where stuff came from. People picked it.
So, sure. Leo, if you go to their website,
does it explain?
Help, you can add your brand. So it says, what is Fancy? Add your brand. You can sign in.
And we should add TWiT to this.
Right.
Maybe somebody would say, hey, look, TWiT's pretty fancy.
Yeah, we're fancy, all right.
We're fancy.
That's really the first thing
Put a fancy button on your site, fancy API, so there is some sort of, this is interesting, all right. I just feel like it's kind of opaque as to where this stuff came from. It bothers me. It's like, is somebody making money on this? I don't understand.
Yes, obviously. Nobody's doing this for their health.
I want a toaster that toasts pieces of toast that have the words "bite me" on them.
See, that's awesome. That's just good stuff.
$45 awesome?
That's a fancy, kind of, as a gift, as a funny gift for somebody.
A good gift. Like a wedding gift?
Well, maybe not a wedding gift.
A divorce gift?
Well, it depends on the people, I guess.
A divorce gift?
Yeah. Do people get divorce gifts? I missed out.
I don't know. I know. You know, big opportunity lost.
Sheesh. Hey, you want to hear something really funny?
Yes. That's from Think Geek, by the way.
Oh, see? Yeah. You like them.
I'm okay with them.
Are you okay with this?
Yeah.
So this morning I wake up, Airtime has launched. And I
saw, how did you get an account?
What do you mean?
Oh.
You just log right in.
Oh.
It's not hard.
I saw you demonstrate it on TNT.
Calm down. Yeah, it's easy.
I was jealous. I thought you had special access.
You obviously just didn't try because you would have seen that you got right in.
So,
Airtime launched.
This is Sean Parker's new company.
And Sean Fanning.
It's
the two Seans from Napster.
And Bob Pittman is on their board, who runs Clear Channel, was at AOL.
Uh-huh.
So I thought this might be a big deal.
Everyone
what
said
is it?
It's going to be the new chat roulette. It's going to be in the new chat roulette.
What is it?
It's not really like that.
Do they have an app?
No. That's the annoying part of it. And the reason I'm even talking about it on iPad today, because they don't have an iPad app, is because it was kind of funny. What I did was I got up in the morning, as I do, I sit down, I look at Tech Meme, I look horrible, I got snot coming out of my nose, it's like...
Do you have
a lot of
a mug of Joe or something, beverage to
as the coffee is brewing, I'm sort of just sitting there.
This is even before coffee.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, if something's breaking, I just want to know, right? Because I'm going to have to talk about it later.
You're so committed. That's really nice.
So I see that Airtime's launched, so I'm, before I even think about it, I'm in there.
You sign up.
I click, talk to somebody, because I'm thinking, well, it's going to be somebody anonymous. And it's this guy who knows us.
Oh, no.
He knows you, he knows me. He goes, wait, you work at TWiT.
You're Sarah Lane.
And I was like...
you look different in person.
I held up my cat, Lucy. It was like, sorry, I haven't brushed my teeth yet. He works for On the Air. And he said that he's talked to you about doing, live call-in stuff.
Yeah, we use On the Air. Jonathan.
Josh.
Yeah. Yeah, we've used On the Air.
That's who I found.
That's so funny. That's the competition, basically. The first person you find is somebody who's got a product that competes with Airtime.
And it was funny because he didn't tell me that right away. At first he was like, because we have Kevin Systrom of Instagram in common as friends on Facebook. He can see that in my profile. And he goes, how do you know Kevin? I said, I was sort of vague, just... I don't know, mutual friends. What am I going to say? He doesn't know anything about me.
I've interviewed him on national television.
Right. And I said, how do you know him? And he goes, well, we went to college together. Okay. What else do we talk about? And then that's when he recognized me. It's kind of funny. So that's Airtime.
So what is it?
Well, it's a way for you to use your Facebook social graph. You have to log in using Facebook.
And you just call people randomly?
No. Well, what you say is... I either want to talk to a Facebook friend of mine, so you can use it like video chat, or I could say...
But you get to say which Facebook friend or...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not as random as you're thinking. It's not really like chat roulette. I could say, Leo's online, I want to initiate an Airtime chat with you, and it uses both of the webcams on our laptops, and it's very Skype-ish. You can share files and videos, or... I can say, all right, I'm either interested in people who are also in the San Francisco area, where I was this morning, or a friend of mine on Facebook. So it's, how 1 degree of separation, but at least we'd say okay, hey, we've got Kevin in common. Let's talk about how we might know each other.
Right.
Or you can filter by interest. So stuff that you like on Facebook. On TNT, I used the example of The Daily Show. I've said that I like The Daily Show on Facebook, so I could say, I want to talk to somebody else who likes The Daily Show. Maybe there was a really funny episode last night, and I'm just dying to talk about it with somebody. So
it's for people who don't have...
It's not for people who don't have real friends. It's for people who are outgoing. And you might not have this person sitting in front of you at any time to have a conversation in real life, which is something like that app Highlight depends on. It's people coming up to each other in real life because they're in the same geolocated area.
That's cool.
Now, Airtime, even though it's not available on mobile yet, And they say mobile, just a sort of all-encompassing thing. They do say that they expect it to be out in a few weeks, which is good news. I don't know if it's going to be an HTML5 app or what.
So you could use Skype to do this, basically, but it doesn't. What does it do that Skype doesn't do?
Well, first of all, it's tapping into your
but you create your Skype phone book. You could have it be.
Yeah, but I can't call up someone on Skype that hasn't added me.
You don't know. Ah.
You know what I mean?
So this is
Skype is precise.
This is more of a friends of friends kind of thing.
And it's much more of a, hey, you want to meet somebody new? It's a little bit, I mean, there is a little bit of a roulette aspect to it, I guess. You might say, you know, I want this person to, you know,
did it warn you that it was going to show you?
Yeah.
So you kind of, it wasn't that you, like, the camera was suddenly on and there was somebody talking to you.
It wasn't that I understood how it was going to work. I just didn't realize it was going to be somebody who recognized me.
I get it.
And said, hey, you work for TWiT. And I'm like, how do you even see it? Like, I don't even
So this is not
right
a competitor, actually, with Josh's on the air.
But he called them a competitor, actually. Mm. So...
They have been linked. There are 3 news sites that are very similar to this. They're kind of linked together. There's ontheair.com. There's... Airtime, and I can't remember what the third one is. It's been around for a while. It's the one Glenn Rubenstein was using to do Spreecast.
Spreecast. Yes.
So this is similar. All 3 of them are kind of similar.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I had a good experience with Josh this morning, and again, apologies, Josh. I will brush my hair next time. But it was kind of fun to get somebody right there who was like, I know you.
Theory says, I bet there's a lot of, I got to go now on there.
I did that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I was embarrassed.
Nice talking to you, but my cat needs milk.
You know,
I got to go now.
One of the things that Airtime says that they're going to do is they're going to monitor when you make a connection. Like if the one person goes away real quick, they'll
You might be a problem person.
Well, or they'll keep that data as,
right.
For whatever reason, we didn't make a good connection just then.
Right.
This person said that they wanted something in common with this other person, and we didn't do a very good job of it. So it's supposed to get smarter over time.
Right.
It's kind of fascinating stuff. There's a voyeuristic element to it, certainly.
Very good.
Another app that's getting some buzz because it gained 100,000 downloads in a very short period of time is an app called Any.do. Have you heard of it?
Any.do.
Any.do.
No.
Yeah. Wait a second. How did I not down? I did download this.
Is that like Honeydew? Well, that's the iPhone version. You want the iPad version.
Oh, there we are. Any.do, one word. This is weirdly only works in portrait mode, even though it's an iPad app.
That. I don't understand.
It's very weird. But what I do is I add notes. So this is almost like sticky notes, but just, I don't know, imagined a little bit differently. How do I, here we go. Hey, don't forget. So that's my note. I'm done. Okay, now I've got 2 notes here. If I say I'm done with this one, it goes down to the bottom, and if I want to get rid of it, I swipe to the left.
Wait a minute.
And
this
it goes
is
away forever.
exactly like that other thing.
Reminders?
No. Remember there was the app that was done by the Camera Plus guys? Tap, tap, tap. That was a very clean to-do list that had the swipes and the gestures.
I don't.
Clear. This is just like Clear. In fact, a little too much like Clear. Let me show you Clear.
Show me Clear, because I'm not remembering. I actually don't like Any.do all that much. I think it's kind of clunky, but...
Clear is only for the iPhone.
Food.
So, but this is very similar to Clear. In fact, I would almost qualify this as a ripoff. So let me show you Clear.
Show me Clear.
Now, Clear is an iPhone app. So so it is portrait only, just like that. Mm-hmm. Tap or swipe to begin. You sort items by priority. You tap and hold to pick up an item. There are 3 navigation levels. You pinch, tap on a list. So swipe to the right to complete. That's the right, not the left. Swipe to the left to delete. That's completed. Okay. Tap and hold me to pick it up and drag around. Is this similar?
Oh, let's see if I can do that. Pick and hold. Yeah. This is the exact same thing.
In fact, that is a ripoff.
I had already deleted all of the help, the little helps before we got here just now. But even like the little help dialogues looked the same. I think the only thing that's different is mine swipes to the left to delete and yours swipes to the right. Wow, it's the exact same app.
Okay, so I'm going to add call Sarah. Since you're calling me, I thought I'd call you.
You should.
Yeah,
call me back.
And then if that's not... And by the way, the colors, he tells you what the priority is.
And when you want to make a new entry, how do you do it?
New entry?
Yeah. Pull down to create an item. Yep, it's exactly the same.
So that is a little scary. Do you have lists in there?
No.
I think this person...
It's not that interesting.
What's the name of your program?
Any.do.
Don't get it. Because it's, as far as I can tell, a direct ripoff.
Is Clear free?
No, it's $1.99, and it's iPhone only. Am I wrong, chat room, or does that not look very much like Clear?
No, it's clearly the same thing. No pun intended. But
Clear got a lot of attention when it came out. Now, actually, I don't know what the, it could be that Any.do is older than Clear. It was Android only before. Who was first?
This was released like a week ago.
Oh yeah, so Clear got a lot of attention when it came out because it's from Tap Tap Tap. And
I missed it.
Yeah, and it was,
and
it was, frankly, a very interesting UI that people were kind of enamored of. Is this whole pinch UI? You have different lists and list to.
Now, Jay Reese in chat says this was previously an Android only app. So that might have something to do with it. And it isn't free. It's 99 cents.
It seems, to be honest, a little weird.
For sure. If it was something where it was like this was the Android version that, for whatever reason, the Tap 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 people hadn't decided they want to develop, maybe there's...
Do you have themes?
Maybe there's a friendship in there. No. There's no...
I've got Pretty Princess. You might like that.
Pretty
Lucky
Princess.
Clover.
Yeah, you know me.
Theme Noir.
All about Princess.
Tweetbot. Path.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, no, because it says because you've installed Tweetbot, you can have this theme now. Because you've installed Path, you can have this theme now.
Oh, because what? It pulls from some sort of graphics package?
No, just because we like them and they like us, and so they're going to let us do that.
They've got some sort of... Yeah. No, Any.do is less functional than that. It doesn't give you...
So my recommendation...
I can find any extra bells and whistles at all.
It is native on the iPad. That's a plus, although... It's only in portrait mode.
Which is weird for a native iPad app. I like landscape mode myself. It's $1. So I guess if saving $1 is of utmost importance to you, and you don't care about themes, you might like one over the other.
I think because I'm pretty sure Clear came first. I think this is a little suspicious.
Well, it clearly came first for iOS.
I'll get the Android app. I'll check it out and see. But
Okay, so how about here's another app that is a big ripoff. Well, it's not really a ripoff of Skype. It's an alternative to Skype, which I feel like, hey, anything that's an alternative to Skype that might be a little bit less expensive and be reliable is not a terrible thing. Rebtel, have you heard of this one?
I have not. Now you got me.
Okay, now this you can see the icon already looks a lot like Skype, just on
What are you doing,
iPad.
the clone app? All right, okay. So we had a Fab clone, we have a Clear clone, and now this is a Skype clone. I think we do have a theme today.
It's the Clone Wars.
It's the Clone Wars.
Yes. I didn't even realize that. That just happened. That just happened in front of our eyes. This is Rebtel, which the only reason it's on my radar is because I read about it on GigaOM, and GigaOM said, listen, this is a company going after the huge Skype market, because even when we were talking about Airtime a couple of minutes ago, we'll say, okay, so this is some Skype qualities. Okay, you could sort of use it almost like a video chat.
Right.
But really, Skype is that standard that a lot of people just don't deviate from because you just know the name, it seems like a reliable company. They're not going to go away.
Right.
It's just Skype, and we use Skype at TWiT every day.
Love Skype.
Yeah, love Skype.
This the chat room says has a more international focus.
Yes,
which would make sense.
And for people who call a lot internationally, the rates do appear to be better. So if you're looking to save some money and you're going to be calling people internationally on a regular basis, do check it out.
Rebtel, Rebtel, the Rebel. It's the Rebel Alliance of telcos.
That's right.
Rebtel, that's how you remember that.
Rebtel.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So we talked about some clones. I would not call Fancy a Fab clone, by the way.
No, a Pinterest clone.
In fact, Fancy may have come out
earlier.
Not a Pinterest clone, though. Pinterest is just...
Pinterest is like
scrapbooking. This is like window shop and maybe buy something.
I like it. I mean, I'm going to leave it on here because
you can have
cool
followers,
stuff.
by the way. You know how you said, is it the sort of place where you can create your own? You could follow me, and I could choose to share my likes with you.
So I would follow okay, you couldn't initiate content.
No.
Well, wait a minute. It says add. Take a photo. No, you can add to Fancy. Take a photo or choose an existing photo.
Yeah, for your profile, silly.
Oh.
They're not just going to let you start selling things.
I want to sell things. You can even have a shopping cart on this, so you can buy through Fancy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Fancy. So really, it's a store of stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Now I get it.
Oh, right. Well, you call it a Fab.com competitor, and you still can't seem to wrap your...
They're not. It's a store.
Yeah.
It's a store called Fancy.
Yes.
Where they sell stuff other people sell.
It's on the information superhighway, so you don't even need a storefront anywhere because that can be very expensive. So we talked about a bunch of apps just now. None of them really have anything to do with each other except that you could see them as clones, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But we will have all the links to all the apps and their prices and any good news stories that are associated with them in our show notes. If you are wondering where to find our show notes...
I am.
I'm not going to tell. No, I'm just kidding. I will tell you.
Tell me.
TWiT.tv/RIPT. That is our show information database. It tells you everything we talk about, all the links to all the apps that we talk about in the App Store, all the good stuff. If you missed our 100th episode anniversary show last week... That's
us right there.
We had a really good time.
We were so young back then.
Look at how young you are.
Oh, my goodness.
It was like you were just back from your island vacation. You were still so happy.
Yes,
yeah.
It does look like
that. It was a good show. We were very proud of ourselves last week. So do go watch that if you happen to miss it the first time. I know. Yeah, 101, good man. Episodes. 101. It's been fun. It's been fun.
Times, yeah.
And you can see all those links were there as well. Because we talked about a bunch of good stuff last week. TWiT.tv/IPT. And a quick reminder that over the next couple of weeks, for anybody who's watching us live, you're well aware of this, but we will be shooting some episodes at funny times because I'm going to go on vacation in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be out for 3 Thursdays in a row. So Leo and I have decided, let's not miss anything. Let's just shoot a few shows in advance. So then you can just chill while I'm gone. We can both sort of have a vacation.
We'll relax.
Yeah, let's just relax. Let's chill.
We will have a special post WWDC episode because we're going to learn a lot about iOS 6. There's the news is going crazy with iOS 6 stuff.
I know,
including the new maps, and of course Google has their new map announcement. I mean, things are exploding. So I don't think Google Maps will be on iOS.
What was the company that Google just bought? Office Data?
Quick Office.
Quick Office.
Quick Office, yeah.
This I am hoping.
That's a big story, too.
I am really hoping, and I assume we'll hear more about this in the coming days or weeks, that it makes Google Docs
Quick Office compatible.
Livable on iOS. Because right now, I can look at a Google spreadsheet. Google spreadsheets are how we I add information for this show, we do for TNT.
You can't do anything.
You technically can, but you can't on the fly. I mean, it's basically unusable, and it's very, very frustrating because I'd love to just only have my iPad for this show, for example. It can't be done, at least not the way that we do it now. So hopefully that's a good thing. But yes, if you're wondering when our next episode's going to be, following Thursday at its regular time, then it gets weird again. So just try to tune in. But the best way to make sure that you don't miss anything.
We'll put it on the calendar.
Yeah, and if you subscribe to the show, then you just get the next episode in the order it's supposed to be received, and then you don't even have to think about any of this weird stuff. The choice is yours. How about that?
I am playing right now with the settings on my Slingbox. You could choose the video quality on cellular, video quality on Wi-Fi, what your preference is for when you first launch it, your home channel. You could set that so that you know. Oh, did I tell you that I have a Slingbox? Have I mentioned that I have a Slingbox?
I was going to say, what you're doing right now is extremely rude. You've somehow managed to put your home theater into your iPad.
I have done that. I've done that. Well, you just upgraded your home theater.
I did.
And
so good.
It's so nice, isn't it? They have the 3.1 surround sound. And actually, do you have surround or just 3.1?
Not yet.
I haven't done the back part yet.
It's happening eventually.
You got to get wires on. See,
I'm already so excited about my 3.1.
I know. It's so
that
good.
I'm not in a hurry anymore.
And it goes boom, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-bum,
and I've got the subwoofer with the Game of Thrones opening theme. I am surprised my neighbors haven't said anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's obnoxious.
The problem is when you have to go to the can. Because you got this great setup here, and then you don't want to miss anything. That's when I bring the iPad with me, and I fire up the Slingbox. And, you know, I can watch my TV anywhere on my iPad. I can watch it at a baseball game. I can watch it waiting in line at DMV. I could go to the kitchen and make hors d'oeuvres and not miss a minute of anything that I'm watching. That's why Slingbox is the coolest app on the iPad. It turns your iPad into a home theater. Now, here's the deal. Go to slingbox.com/twit and take a look. You get the Slingbox at Amazon or Best Buy or slingbox.com. You set it up by hooking it up all your little doohickeys in your home theater, your DVR, your satellite, your cable. If you had a VCR, you could even hook it up to it. Anything. The nice thing about the DVR is you control it from the Sling player. So I can actually set recordings, play back recordings right from my iPad. So it's like kind of like an internet remote for my DVR. It is incredible. I want you to take a look at it. Slingbox works with iPad, iPhone, Android tablets, Android phones, of course your desktop computer as well. It lets you watch your home TV system anywhere you go. I want you to try it right now. Visit slingbox.com/twit and give it a try. I think you're going to really like it. Really good for the sports fanatic. You know, if the NBA playoffs, I know that probably Matt has kind of lost interest in that because his team is history.
Who's Matt? And what team are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along.
It's just like, what the hell? Where are we?
Anyway, you get the idea. Slingbox.com/twit.
Love them.
Matt Fowler in our chat room. Who's your favorite NBA team, Matt? See, that's who I'm talking about.
Oh, Matt Fowler, of course.
Of course. Who else would I be talking about?
That was a momentary lapse of reason.
Don't know who that was.
Hey, so I found a little something funny in the App Store. Well, you were either going to think this is funny or you're going to think, ugh, the joke that wouldn't die. So whenever we're ready to do a new episode of the show, I always try to keep all of my app updates into a cluster.
Yes.
Because I don't want to just update everything without reading the fine print, because I like to know what's going to change in every update so that we can talk about apps that just got cooler.
Yes.
And one of the updates was from Yelp, which is one of my very favorite apps.
Love it.
Absolutely love Yelp.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's the category of Yelp in the App Store is travel, which is not actually how I use Yelp at all. But it could be a travel app.
I think it's probably in my travel folder because it's kind of like if you go somewhere and you want to know what's the best coffee shop in the neighborhood.
I guess you're traveling somewhere. It's in my dining out folder, which is silly
I don't
because
have
it's not just
dining out folder.
Well,
either.
I know, but the thing is like I'm looking at like house sitters on Yelp right now because they do that too, and that's not dining out.
We really ought to do a folder show on like what folders, like a dining out folder. Really, actually, mine's in a location folder. So I have like the movie app. Where do you put that? Well, I put that in location because Zillow, that's location.
You're going to go somewhere.
I'm going somewhere. These are apps that are location aware, and so Yelp is like it knows where I am.
Yeah.
Actually, I should log in. I'm not logged in, but I won't do it right now. And
I don't always log into Yelp.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so if I were in Upper New York State, which apparently Yelp thinks I am.
Well, that's the last time you used the app.
Wow, it just shows you.
Yeah.
That was Christmas.
Yeah. That's wow.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I'll use that.
So the deal with Yelp
I don't ever leave home.
There are a few interesting new things in Yelp. I will read them now.
Okay.
Number one.
This is part of the update.
Yes. Number one, you can now manage your tips, your bookmarks, your reviews, and more through the new About Me section on iPad. That's cool. Number two, you can view your past check-ins laid out on top of a map of your area only on iPad.
That's neat.
Also pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Number three, photos are now present alongside search results across both apps. Very nice. And finally, number four, introducing support for our newest country, America. And I went, wait, what?
What? America.
And I had to read it 4 times before I realized, oh, they're making a Romney joke.
I guess they're not Mitt Romney fans.
Cute? Well, is that what I'm supposed to get out of that? Is like the Yelpers are liberal, or are they just trying to be funny?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
If I were a Romney supporter. By the way, it's
no. Would you find humor in this, or would you think that it was mean-spirited?
It would be. I would think, oh, they're digging at me because it's not Mitt's fault that there was a typo in his app.
He clearly didn't make the app.
What they're talking about is an iPhone app, Romney for America, that had little slogans you could put on your on pictures, like "I'm with Mitt" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And on one of them there was a typo that said "Mitt for Americia."
Right.
And, you know, people made fun of it. But, you know, I feel sorry for whoever did that because he's obviously out of a job now. It's a typo. You've typed that. It's a typo. I think if I were a Mitt Romney supporter, I would feel a little bit like that's a cheap shot.
Well, Yelp decided to keep the cheap shot alive.
I guess we know that they're Democrats. By the way, it's election day in California. Did you vote?
Yes. In fact, it's weird. My polling place, the nearest polling place to me, is a furniture store, like around the corner from my house. It feels weird. It's really expensive furniture, too, stuff that I can't afford, so I'm like...
It's weird. I have my ballot right here because I can't find a polling place.
That's stupid.
Would you drop it off at the furniture store for me on the way home?
They won't let you do that. You're not registered in San Francisco County. Too bad, too sad.
No, I'll find a polling place. There's got to be.
You really can't find a polling place?
Well, I took a walk with Ozzy, and I took a walk. Right, Ozzy?
Ozzy.
He's exhausted from the walk. He's like.
He's just a little bird doggy. Don't look at me.
I said his name, and he woke up. And we could not find a polling place. But I'm sure. Don't they put an American flag up in front of it?
There are apps for finding your nearest polling place. We've talked about them in the past.
Do you think Yelp would allow me to search for polling places?
Doubt it.
Maybe only Democratic.
Doubt it because they're too temporary.
I'm searching for hotels near Americia, and I don't find any. It says we don't recognize that location. So that's a lie.
Yeah, you know what, Yelp? You're just leading us down the wrong path. So
right.
There's
liberals.
that. Anyway, Yelp made a funny, and I noticed, and I felt kind of proud of myself because it was one of those things that you got to be like a psycho and be reading all of these app updates pretty carefully to notice things.
This is the new thing, though. You did this earlier.
It's like Easter eggs.
Didn't Smugmug or somebody do one too, where they put little in their app description? They put little funnies.
You know, Marco Arment, creator of Instapaper, had written. It was not an Easter egg. It was very easy to see, but he had said there was a new version of Instapaper that came out, and he had listed all the new stuff, and at the very end he said, and on a side note, I just want to thank everybody who pays for Instapaper and supports me. My wife and I just had a baby, and it's because of you that I can spend time with my family at home. And I was like, whoa, it was one of those, you just don't read that from any developer in an app store, and I thought, that is...
I'd like to see more reviews like that.
It's true.
And less like,
Well, because he is a one-man show. I mean, that's he doesn't have a development team.
Right.
He actually does make that app from home, and he's thankful. So that was kind of neat.
By the way, I have 4 compliments on Yelp.
What are they complimenting you on?
3 of them say I'm cool. And the 4th, which just came in 16 days ago, says I'm a good writer.
Just in general? I didn't know that you could do that. Are you a product on Yelp?
Apparently I am a product on Yelp.
Oh, I see. All right. That's cool.
Yeah, I've written 2 reviews.
I've written 2 reviews also, both angry. Because that's the only thing that gets me to write a review. I got to be mad.
That's funny because, the only reviews I've written are people that, are Gardner, people who say to me, could you please give us a review on Yelp?
I would do that.
And so those are people I actually,
and you want to support them.
Yeah, so I've only written good reviews, actually.
I should do that for the awesome people that, I've done business with. If they reminded me,
That's a tip. If you're on, first of all, you should be on Yelp. You should also be on Google Places because people use that if you're a business, and we're on both. And you should ask people, your happy clients, hey, if you like the facial or whatever, write a positive review on Yelp. Because I'm actually looking for I pay attention to them.
A cat sitter right now because we're going to be gone for a few weeks, and it's like too long to ask a friend to come in for 20 days or whatever. And I'm going on Yelp, and it's like as soon as I see a bad review, I'm like, that person's not coming into my house. I don't care if they have 50 good reviews.
Right.
But it really does matter. Well, I mean, I'm trying to be reasonable, but it's like I do.
It does matter.
It does matter. If someone's on Yelp, I want to know what their score is, and I want to know if it's not 5 stars or what's wrong with them.
Right.
Or the restaurant. Hey, so when I was in New York for Memorial Weekend, I love the subway system there. It's so much fun. New York is kind of a big grid, and it's
a little fragrant, but it's nice.
Well, have you been on the San Francisco public transportation?
It's fragrant as well.
Very fragrant.
Yeah.
And San Francisco, because it's so hilly, relies on a lot more buses. We just don't have the underground infrastructure that a big city like New York has. So it's a lot of fun, but I don't always know where's the F train go or the 6 or that sort of thing. So when I was there, I asked a local that I was hanging out with, hey, is there like a cool app that you New Yorkers use for public transportation?
That's a great question.
And he said yes, and it's called HopStop. I had never heard of it.
No, you only would know about it if you were in New York.
Well, but it turns out that HopStop is used by many cities.
Oh.
It just happens to be a big deal in New York, and I guess not in San Francisco. And in fact, you can see...
So is it user-supported? I mean, or... So it's not just a New York subway map?
No. It's a where are you? What's the point B that you want to get to from either your current location or, well, it depends on if the city is available.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, where their content comes from, if it's user-contributed or if they're using somebody's database. That's kind of cool.
That's a good question.
It says subway. Oh, it's only for New York, San Francisco, Boston, and D.C., and many more cities. So apparently it is for San Francisco.
Huh. That's
76 markets and counting.
There you go.
New York, New Jersey, Long Island, Metro North, Delaware, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Philadelphia, San Antonio. So that's cool. I'm downloading this right now.
So this is
it's
great.
Free.
What happened to me was I got off the plane. I'm at JFK, and I know that I can take a cab into Manhattan, and I know that's going to be with tip, $50+. And I think that's stupid. I hate those cabs because sometimes you get caught in the tunnel if there's traffic, and it's just unpleasant. So there's got to be some public transportation. Sure enough, I fire up HopStop. I say where I am. I basically needed to take the AirTrain to a station in Queens.
AirTrain, that's right.
Transfer to the the Long Island Railroad, I think they call it.
Yep.
And it takes me right into Penn Station. And it was way cheaper, and it just made perfect sense. And this showed me in great detail. Here's what you do: you turn right. You walk for 50 feet.
It's a little complicated. I've done that trip, and it is a little complicated.
And this is better than Google Maps for things like transit, because Google Maps is good if it's like, are you in a car or are you on foot? Right?
They have transit on Google Maps.
They do.
But this sounds like the app to have. HopStop.
This is tailored. Yes.
This isn't your pick.
No. This is just a cool app that I decided to throw into the stir fry.
Yeah.
And it's not a clone of anybody as far as I know. You can see here, I took a trip from central Manhattan into Brooklyn. And we were like, okay, well, what do we do? Is this going to be difficult? We want to make sure that we take the most direct route. Turns out I got lucky because the F train goes right to where I needed to go. But I say, here's what current location was at the Ace Hotel. And I wanted to go to Smith Street. And it tells me how many miles I'm going.
That is a well-designed underground system.
Well, that too. Well, but I could have wanted to go over here. And then I might have needed a transfer. And it lets me know based on the time of day, how long it's expected to take, and if there's like a route that seems less logical but would actually save me some time. I used HopStop a variety of times.
This even works in Edmonton and Calgary.
Neat, huh?
In Halifax and Hamilton. This is amazing. Las Vegas.
You might have seen there was an ad running at the bottom of my screen, but besides that,
who cares?
Yeah, I mean, ad supported for something free that gives me really good information is worth it.
So I'm going to pick my default city, which of course is San Francisco Bay Area. But you can use it. I imagine this works particularly well for New York because, look, they even have taxi, bike, and walking instructions.
Neat, huh? Yeah, I guess San Francisco I never even thought to look because I know the city.
Right.
So I don't care. But if you were visiting for the first time, I mean, we have a pretty extensive metro system. It's just not really quick,
right?
But it is there. That would be helpful.
This is really really. I think it probably works a little better in New York. It looks like they get transit updates in New York and stuff like that too, which is great. That's fantastic.
Smartvoter.org.
I know. I saw that in the chat room.
That's where you can go to vote.
Thank you.
You should vote.
I got to take a walk. It's all the way up at the McNear School. That's way the heck other side. I don't want to walk all the way up.
That's good for you. Walking is good. No, that's a lot farther. I
don't even care about these. I don't even know who I'm voting for.
You don't? Way to be a Petaluma resident.
There's no local...
There's like 3 people in this town.
There's no local... I'm voting for assembly. It's not that interesting.
And
it's not even the final. It's just like the preliminary.
Right.
It's like round 1.
If you don't vote, you can't complain.
That's true, and I like to complain. So
I do too. I vote like the wind, and then I say, don't blame me, I voted for Nader.
Yeah, it's your fault.
I didn't, you guys.
It's your fault.
That's a bumper sticker. Come on. Give me a break.
In California, it doesn't matter who you vote for anyway.
Yeah. So Craig wrote us an email, said, love the show. I've been looking around. I can't seem to find an app, but I think it'd be really useful. I want to I add so much stuff to my reading list. He doesn't say which reading list he used, but let's say it's read it later.
Right.
And I never seem to get around to reading it all, and I sometimes just skim the article and I don't take in the whole story. Is there an app that would read these back to me so I could listen to them while I'm driving or working or otherwise not being able to read? I know that things like this can read emails, messages, but there isn't one that reads my reading list that I know of. Do you have an answer? Because I would like this too, Leo. If I could have tech news read to me while I'm stuck in my car driving, I would be, that's an hour more of absorbing tech news that I don't have.
I think there is something like this, because I know Fred Wilson on his blog AVC has audio narrated versions of every post, which you could subscribe to, which is kind of neat. But the problem is, unless he does it,
right,
you can't do it.
He's going through the trouble to help people out.
There's a service that will do that.
Is he reading them?
No.
Somebody else is reading them.
A voiceover talent. It's called Voice Bunny.
Voice Bunny.
Voice Bunny. So this would, and I think he must, I don't know if he pays for this, but you can actually subscribe to his podcast. Listen to what it sounds like. It's a professional announcer. You don't hear anything? Well,
this podcast was automatically created with Voice Bunny, the crowd voicing API. Some Perspective by Fred Wilson. I don't disagree with PG when he says that Facebook's IPO performance...
So this is somebody reading the blog post.
I like this idea a lot.
Now, bloggers could do this. Fast and professional voices for any type of project. They have an API. Mm-hmm. But that would require a blogger. Now, if you're on a Macintosh, you can actually automate. You'd have to use Automator to do this, but if you can use Automator, Macintosh will read anything. It has a Voices app in it. Mm-hmm. And so you can send any arbitrary text to the Macintosh. You can actually turn it into an MP3, add it to iTunes, and automatically have it sync. So I do know people who do exactly this. They'll basically bookmark a bunch of stuff, and they have a script, and I'll have to find you something that will do this, but they have a script that will turn it into a podcast, in effect, that's on your iPod every morning. They have fresh stuff. So that's kind of a neat way to do it. But it isn't a package thing, to my knowledge.
Yeah, and if you were using one app to save a bunch of stuff...
You'd use Safari.
Well, yeah, maybe that's what...
JP2E has a good point. If you do use Instapaper, you can set Instapaper up to every week or every day mail you whatever you Instapaper to your Kindle. Mm-hmm. And your Kindle will read you anything.
Ooh.
So if you can't do it with a $79 Kindle, but if you have the next level up or higher, a Kindle with audio, that would work because you just have Instapaper, send it to your Kindle. You need a Kindle, and then that'll work.
Now, someone's mentioning text-to-speech and accessibility settings.
That's neospeech.com, yeah.
But there's actually text-to-speech in the accessibility settings.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. And you can script it.
Right.
So that it will take your read it later stuff from Safari, have it scripted to use text-to-speech, and then save it out as an MP3.
But in iOS, you wouldn't be able to do that.
In iOS.
You'd actually be doing that from OS X.
You'd have to do it from
in iOS, I have found, in my experience, that once you go into the accessibility settings, it can be difficult to get back out of them. It just depends on how badly you want this. And yes, he probably did mean his reading list in Safari rather than an app. But if you were using an app to save everything, which is what I do, the app isn't going to be the service that's offering the audible versions of the articles. I don't know. If anyone is like, you guys are missing the most obvious solution to this, please do write us, iPadtoday@twit.tv, and we'll feature it on the next show because it's a great idea. It's something that I would use as well.
There is text-to-speech in iOS as part of the accessibility. Seems like it should be able to read.
The thing, though, about that is, unless I'm not using it the right way, it's for if you can't see. So everything you...
It reads you all the controls.
Yeah.
I agree.
So it's for accessibility. It's not really for hands-free.
It's more than you want, maybe.
Yeah. We also got an email from Pam who says, I have a first-generation iPad, 32 gigabyte Wi-Fi only, and it's black. I looked up the trade in value at Best Buy, where I bought it.
Voiceover on. Alert.
Oh, yeah.
Important. VoiceOver changes the gestures used to control iPad. Are you sure you want to continue?
No.
No.
Press the cancel button. Cancel button. Cancel.
Thank you.
See, if you say you want to continue, then
screwed.
You're in there.
It does say to select an item, touch it. To activate the selected item, double tap. Seems like you could tell it. Just read this, but maybe not.
Yeah, but then you don't want to, when you get stuck. Yeah. So Pam says, I looked up the trade in value at Best Buy for my 32 gig first version iPad, and I don't understand why my black iPad is worth so much less than the white one.
Oh.
They sell for the same price. So why?
That doesn't make sense, except the demand.
Well, but hold on. She says, I'm considering giving it to my husband, even though I could use the money. Your input would help me decide whether to buy a white new iPad or a black one. If you have a first-gen iPad, you can't have a white one.
Right, so
because whites didn't come out until second-gen. So you have an older iPad than the white one that you are comparing to, and you shouldn't be comparing the two. That's why. There are more black iPads.
Gazelle will give you the same amount of money for a white or a black iPad, I'm pretty sure. So try Gazelle.com, which is one of our sponsors.
I mean,
look at this.
What?
Chat room is so smart.
Oh.
BuzzVoice.
BuzzVoice.
Listen on the go, get things done. BuzzVoice collects the stories you wish you had time to read and converts them to audio in real time, Android or iOS.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. It's like Pandora for news.
BuzzVoice. I'm writing that.
And I saw it in the chat room, but I didn't get your name. A couple of people mentioned it. Very, very cool.
Thank you so much. I'm going to try to use it tomorrow.
Carlos Phoenix was one of them. And then there was another one. So there you go.
BuzzVoice.
BuzzVoice.
Sweet. $3.99. Wait. Is that the same one? BuzzVoice with an exclamation point?
I don't know. I'll tell you. I have it right here, and I'll tell you how much it is. It is $3.99. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, this same one. Oh, it's awesome. I'm buying it. You're buying it. Yeah. Woo! I'm reckless.
This is actually a really interesting idea. Thank you, chat room.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you can pick up to 15 favorite sources.
That actually would. I mean, that'd be great. I guess if there's something breaking, I would love to know how it.
It's RSS feeds.
So it'll just refresh.
Yeah.
On some sort of a timer. That's neat. Hey, so we got a video tip. I've got to add this into the show because it's great. Dwayne has pretty much taken the tip.
By the way, read the reviews on BuzzVoice because there are a lot of negative reviews. So I'm glad you bought it, and we'll.
I'll test it so you don't have to.
We'll give you the before you buy it at home. Wait, let's see what Sarah says.
Yes. So Dwayne taking the tip to a new level. Dwayne.
Hi, Leo. Hi, Sarah. My name is Dwayne Wilson from San Angelo, Texas, and I have kind of a dud tip for you. If you like to see your wallpaper a lot, just put one app on the beginning screen, like settings, and then every time you hit the button, it'll go back, and you'll be able to see the majority of your wallpaper. Thanks for a great show.
That's an interesting tip.
See you. Bye.
Thank you.
Now, Dwayne, you can do that on your last page, too, I guess.
That's what I did here. But, I mean, he wants to see it every time.
But he wants to see it so badly that when he presses the home button, he sees his picture. Boom. He sees his wallpaper.
Boom.
And there's just the one app in the upper left-hand corner.
Boom.
And that's it.
That's it.
And you want more? You swipe. You swipe to the second page.
Now, if you really wanted to mess with people...
That is a tip. That's true.
I would make a page, a wallpaper that was actually a screenshot of a bunch of apps. Make that your wallpaper. Here, I could do it right now. And then I could really mess with Dwayne. So I'm going to make this, take a screenshot of this, okay?
And then you'd have one real app that went over the...
I'm going to make it my... Watch, this is such a good idea. And I'm going to make this my wallpaper.
Brightness and wallpaper,
yeah. Let's make that my wallpaper here. Okay, I just took a picture. Wait a minute, that's not in the wallpaper. It'd be in the camera roll. There we go. Okay, there it is. I'm going to make that my home screen. Okay, now... when I go to the last page, and Dwayne's going to be going like this.
Well, I think Dwayne is hip to your little game because he's watching.
Oh,
however,
rats.
Well, see, no, but if what it would be kind of cool though, because if you did this on your first page and you moved all those other apps off of your first page, then you'd have like a fake first page.
That's why it's going to work so good with Dwayne, because he did that already. So only one icon will work, but it looks like
So Dwayne,
now I've really screwed up.
Take this duh tip and scare your friends.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah, take it to the CIA. They won't even know.
Wow, it's just weird now.
Yeah, that's weird. It's almost as cool as my water droplets background that I've never changed since I picked up
That's the one that comes with the iPad.
It's fine. I don't look at backgrounds. Actually, you know what? They can be really distracting. I need something that's very abstract. So. Works for me. Hey, we want to hear from you guys. We love featuring as many of you as possible on our show. You always have the best ideas. Thank you so much to everybody who's giving us live advice, too, for some of our viewer questions. iPad Today at twit.tv is how you email us. You can leave us a voicemail as well. 757-504-IPAD is our Google Voice number. Or you could send us a video like Dwayne did. Thank you so much, by the way, Dwayne. It could be a duh tip. It could be a question, a comment, a little dance.
A little dance? We don't get many of those.
No,
I'd like to get more dances.
I see no reason why there shouldn't be more dancing on the show.
More dancing.
That's right. Just upload video and send us a link like Dwayne did. I think he used YouTube. You can use anything that will host your video. You can send us a link right in the email.
You could use Airtime if you wanted. And now it's time, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, want to hand me an app cap?
You don't have an app? You know, the hats? Who gave me hats?
Liz.
These are so boring.
Oh, come on now.
All right,
be
I'll
nice.
give you that one. I stole this from the Dark Tipper.
I'm at Ironman World Championship.
That's not bad.
Dark Tipper?
Yeah.
Oh, that Google Ventures guy?
Yeah, Mr. Google Ventures.
He's just going to hand out money now. Hey.
This is fun. You know, I didn't even know I had this anymore. This is a Tech TV cap that I'm wearing.
It is.
And I thought the last one I had I gave to a guard at the Las Vegas Convention Center during CES so that we could park in the parking lot. So I'm glad to know there's one left.
You gave a guard a Tech TV hat so that you could park in a parking lot?
At CES, it worked.
That's so...
He was happy.
Was he like, how badly do you want to park in here? And you said, I've got this hat. And he said, done.
I got a cap for you. He said, that's all it takes, baby.
I love that.
That's all it takes.
Great. Yep. So my app cap, I'm super excited about, and I know you're excited about yours too. It's called Barefoot World Atlas. Now, this is...
This is good.
This is good.
Yes. We didn't do this before?
No.
Oh, shame on us.
Yeah, shame on us, indeed. Yeah. It is, first of all, I must tell you, it's $8. So if you're going to buy this for yourself or your kid, it's an Atlas type of a program, so make sure that you really want it. And also, it is about 50 megabyte download, so you have to be connected to Wi-Fi. No, but it's just something where my internet was actually down at my house this morning, and it was like kind of a huge hassle to download this. So
no wonder you were drooling.
Yeah, gosh. The internet was out in much of San Francisco. There was like a Comcast fiber optic.
Oh, that's awful.
Snafu. Yeah, it's super annoying. This is the World Atlas.
This is kind of for kids.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're the kind of... I like looking at maps just for fun.
Me too. I'm a map geek.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just so much to learn about.
That. First of all, that's cool.
Isn't that neat? So you think, okay, well, this does look very kid-like, right? Yeah. However...
Algeria.
There's a lot I don't know about Algeria, for example. So let's go ahead and click into...
Algeria,
right? So what's going on up here? What's that?
Not to be confused. That's Algiers. They speak French there.
Oh, yeah,
and people eat a lot of couscous.
So I can see, and I can have a lot about it. And I can have this read to me that the Casbah is the historic
I was going to just say
of Algiers,
the capital
city
is in Algeria.
Of Algeria. Now this can be read to me.
Casbah is the historic quarter of Algiers, the capital city of Algeria.
Yes. Blah blah blah.
Many of the white stone buildings have collapsed.
You get the sense, but you got this nice music in the background type of a thing. Now, as I move along,
this is where CD-ROMs went, by the way. Because this would have been a CD-ROM.
This is so Encarta.
When you were in high school.
Now, what's this Rubik's Cube kind of thing going on?
I don't know. What is that? That's
Rubik's Cube, widely known as one of the world's best-selling toys, was invented in the 1970s by a Hungarian architect, designer, and university professor.
I love it.
Ernő Rubik first launched it as the Magic Cube in Budapest in 1975.
Thank you for that information. Now I can go ahead and say like, oh, that's something that I actually want to remember for later. Cool. I'm kind of saving this type of a thing.
But see, that's why I think it's kind of for kids. I mean, it's kind of fun stuff.
But like, I just learned a couple of things.
That's neat.
I know the song Rock the Casbah, but I didn't know it was in Algiers.
What is the skateboarder doing there? The guy going back and forth?
He's skiing.
Oh, he's skiing.
Yeah, that's the Alps. He's a skier. Want to know more about skiing? Skiing has been practiced for over 5,000 years, starting in Scandinavia. Gotta love it.
That is cool.
Now, if you want to go to a certain region, you can say, okay, I'm interested in, Australasia, for example, and it'll spin you right over there, and you get a little bit of like a geographical stuff about physical features of Australia. Yeah, climate and weather, for example. The kind of natural resources that are in the area, the kind of animals that live there. It's awesome. Or if you go into country mode, which is a little flag up here, you can choose a particular country. So if I want to go to where Rihanna's from, I can hop right on over to Barbados and find out a little bit more about Barbados. That's for like keywords. So I've got like Aboriginal men or the anaconda, and that'll take me to, I guess, the
snakes on this plane.
I want to say Nile, but I don't mean Nile. I mean Amazon. Duh. It's funny. The word Amazon just means something so different to me now. And then I can go over to my favorites and I can find stuff that I had saved for later.
Did you run in some marathon, the Amazon marathon?
No, because of Amazon.com.
Oh, you're right.
I forget that is actually
there's a river.
Yeah. Well, I don't forget, but it's I don't talk about the Amazon River very often.
No, that's a very good point.
Yeah. So. This is, and then if you want to see some pictures of scary snakes that will upset you, then you can do that as well. And there's like a little picture prompt that'll let you know. This is Barefoot World Atlas. Again, as Leo said, it is kind of kid-like. But if you're into maps or you want to gift this to, your niece or your nephew or something like that, it's certainly not any more expensive than an equivalent book would be, $8.
Right.
And it's fun. It's fun to use. I had a really good time this morning learning all about, where was I this morning? I think I was in Saudi Arabia.
So that's kind of a clone of Encarta.
Yes, it's an Encarta clone.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to point out there's one flaw in my plan to do the icons and confuse him as the wallpaper. Watch what happens when I go, show my screen, when I go this way. Oops.
Oh.
Now it doesn't work so good.
Oh, that's just awful.
That's just terrible. So I don't know how I'm going to find my app cap here. It's in here somewhere. Oh, here it is. 1, 2, 3D catch. This I actually owe thanks to Alex Lindsay who picked this out. This is from Autodesk. It is absolutely free, and it allows you to make 3D images from your camera. Now, I don't know if you remember, Sarah Lane, but a little bit earlier on,
before the show,
I said, sit still.
And I did.
And talk about clones. I made a Sarah Lane clone.
Oh, my God.
3D. Now, you can see there's some holes.
Somebody blew out the back of my head.
We have to take more pictures, but that's what it looks like from Sarah's angle.
Oh, that's from the inside of my face.
That's from the inside of your face.
This is super
Isn't that? But you saw how quickly we made that, right?
Yeah.
And I needed to get under your chin maybe, and
sure.
We did it very quickly.
Someone didn't actually riddle me with bullet holes. It's just that we only took so many pictures.
Okay, so you might say, well, that's neat. I mean, we could literally, this was 19 images,
We did this in like 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
And
not cute. I am not a good 3D model.
Actually, it looks just like you. I mean, you can see, that's what she looks like, folks.
Yeah.
But here, watch this. You can share it to the community. You can save the image. I can also, when I share it to the community, they will give me cardboard cutout design so I can make a cardboard bust of Sarah Lane. And frankly, that's my goal.
Hold on. Hold
That's
everything.
my plan.
Where do you get the cardboard? They send it to you?
I don't. No, you print it out.
Oh, like in a 3D printer?
Yeah, no, regular printer, and then you cut it out.
Oh, I see.
And then it has the pieces that say Tab A, and then now. By the way, I shared it to Facebook also. So
great. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So but what happens? Because on Facebook, obviously, you can't.
It goes back to the community, which is a web page.
Oh, okay.
And you can see it. It comes with a few that are already done, so you get an idea. Boy, I got a lot of fingerprints on my screen. If you really spend the energy. So this was something that I got to tell you. In the past, where I've done this with Alex Lindsay, he put dots on my face. It took him a long time. It took a lot of processing.
Right.
You can do this in your iPad, not quite in real time. It took about 5 minutes for it to process. It processes offline, so you have to have an account, free account, and it'll do the processing offline. But, folks, you can take pictures and make 3D models out of anything. Here's Sarah Lane after iPad Today ends. She kind of.
I'm on my last legs, people.
By the way,
curtains soon.
I mean, this is truly amazing that you can do this. It's mind-boggling.
It's 123D.
123D catch.
God, that's good. That's more fun, I feel like.
Isn't that amazing?
For a lot of us who aren't really so familiar with CAD stuff,
even Alex Lindsay was going crazy with this. And I'm going to do another one of you that's a little bit more careful. But then I can go home and I will have in my iPad, I could do iPad Today. Isn't that wild?
It's really weird.
Isn't that weird?
It's scary.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
That must feel weird for you.
It is. Look at my poor broken nose.
Yeah, well, it's a little messed up. We're going to fix it.
No, I mean, it's actually broken.
Oh. I thought that was a bad caption.
No, it's actually...
Did you run into a wall?
No, it's just, when you're kids, you run into stuff. But it's actually...
You can see the bump.
It has the real shadows there.
You can see the bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Wow, I never even noticed that about you.
Well, now you'll never unsee it.
Never going to unsee it.
All right.
Look at that.
Zoom on out there,
Giant Sarah Lane lips. God. Is that weird?
It is. I look dead. I look like a White Walker. It's
kind of like a death mask.
Yeah.
It's
a death mask.
Like a White Walker, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love this. This is really cool. 123D catch.
123D catch.
And how much is it?
Free.
It's free?
Free.
How do they get away with that?
Can you imagine giving this to kids? They will have so much fun.
So much fun.
I don't know how the printing works because I guess you have to go to their community site and see. But what it does is it prints it out in 2D, and then you get instructions for assembling it. But it won't be, for you, it won't be a very good thing. Anyway, you can also, by the way, if you want to use it with actual 3D programs, you can export it as an OBJ file, and you can then import it to a 3D program and actually use it.
That's awesome. I love this.
When you're gone
really good
in France, I'm just going to put my iPad right there. It'll
you
be
won't
like
even miss
you're
me.
here.
You won't even miss me.
I'll just have a recording going.
Ozzy's like, will you guys stop talking? This is well over an hour.
I really wanted to do this with Ozzy.
But he won't stay still.
He won't stay still.
No, that's
I need to get a little harness.
You could freeze him. No, don't do that.
Oh, the cardboard cutouts are from another program. The sister program, 123D Make.
Ah, okay.
That's
that
it.
Makes
Thank
sense.
you, chat room.
That's the next.
Yeah.
The next phase in
or
the process.
Sculpt. Is it Sculpt or Make?
I think Sculpt is the CAD program.
Sculpt is another one. You've done that one before.
I think so.
Yeah. So I think these are all presumably all related. They're all from Autodesk.
I'd love to see how the cardboard would be smooth, like the sides of a well-sculpted cheekbone.
They call this 123 Make Intro. I'm not sure exactly. Well, I'll have to install it. I probably should have done more research on this, but I just was so
story of your life, right?
I was so captivated.
You were. 123dapp.com if you want to know more about it.
Very interesting.
We are well over our hour. This is what happens when we shoot after hours because nobody's waiting for us. Usually
it's actually gotten dark outside since we started.
On Thursdays, Tom and I are like,
where are you? What is going on?
I can feel the pressure from behind me, from over there.
Yeah.
So, that's it. We're done. Yeah. We've had a very jam-packed show. It's been fun. So for anybody who's watching us live, we're obviously shooting at a weird time right now. We will shoot on Thursday at our normal time, 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And if you're watching us on demand, don't even worry about it. You'll just get these amazing shows.
Oh, this is cool.
As they come in. What?
So actually what it does, it's not an assembly. It makes, you cut these out bit by bit and then you stack them up. So it's a kind of the kit. You get these kits and see it looks like that, right? It's like stacked up. That's weird. That is just
great explanation. Boy, you should be a science teacher. You just stack them up. It's weird.
It does the thing.
It's just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, thanks for watching this episode of iPad Today. I'm Sarah Lane.
I'm Leo Laporte.
I will see you next time.
Woohoo! Freeze. I want to get a picture just like that.